What's up, guys? Damn, I got a like already. So let's have a chat about last night's live stream. Go wait for a few people to get on here because I rewatched the live stream and I noticed some things that I want to address right now and clear the air. First of all, thanks to everybody that watched last night's stream. That was a great show. I was looking forward to it. Um, and as I rewatched it, and I noticed during the stream too that her feed wasn't very strong, and she kind of thought that it wouldn't be that strong because I guess she was doing it from an office building or something. The Wi-Fi wasn't good, and so it was pixelated. There was also some like hammer banging in the background. The sound was on her end. I don't know what it was, but it was somewhat distracting. I'm sure it was distracting for you guys. It was distracting for me. And then there's that awkward 1 minute silence. So here's what happened. I was trying to show her little 1 minute video that was on Instagram where she's talking about like California policies and stuff. And when I clicked on screen share, I could see it. I think I was the only one that could see and hear it, but nobody else could see or hear it. So it's kind of awkward. But at first, you guys could see when I clicked screen share and you could see the chat. So that was cool. And speaking of chat, let me pop it out here. See, I went through all this work to get the live chat on a separate screen. I want me all that work. I mean, I just plugged in a separate monitor. But yeah, that was pretty much that. So I wanted to cover that. What's up, Dina, Tony, Ghostface? How many people we got watching? Give it a like too, guys. Please give it a like and a share. You know, YouTube's up to their old tricks again. Those naughty tricks where they try to shadow ban and censor. Like they think that we don't know what they're doing. They think that we're just somehow like, my video's not performing well. I guess I'll do better next time. Like we don't realize that they're shadow banning the truth. I'm surprised that video I just made about Baltimore. I'm not surprised because it's a great video, but I'm surprised that it's reached almost 2,000 views in the first couple hours. That's how it should be, but that's not what I'm used to as it relates to YouTube. Anyway, so let me just talk about what I noticed last night in that live stream. Okay. First of all, if you're a small channel, I get it. You want your channel to grow. You want your platform to grow. And so naturally, you're going to want to promote it. Let me be clear. My chat is not for your self-promotion. Don't use it as a bulletin board. Don't do that, okay? Because in last night's stream, almost every other super chat or whatever was, hey, make sure you go subscribe to this or we're going to lose our country. You need to go subscribe to these small channels. Now, I'm not talking about all small channels. Tony can promote his channel, right? Conservative can promote his channel because he's promoting his channel and he's a moderator. So I'm cool with that. But there are some of you guys, and it's a little disappointing that a few of my moderators are doing this, are spending a lot of time promoting other small channels. Now, that to me is, first of all, you're just kind of using me as a vehicle to reach a wider audience. It's not like I haven't done it before, but it's rude to the guests that I have on my channel. If it's just me live streaming and you want to do that, like right now, if you're promoting it, fine, cool. But when I have a guest on, that chat is reserved for people who want to have a dialogue and discussion. So really, her channel, her platform should be promoted, not all these little channels. So that was a little disappointing to see. I hope I never see that again because I'll shut it down, just so you guys know. I'm not trying to be some tough guy, but this is my channel and I don't like that. So cool out, chill out with all the self-promotion, because that's one side of it, is promoting yourself. The other side of that is you got to have talent. Like it or not everybody's going to have the same outcome on YouTube. It's not for everybody. Not everybody's meant to be a YouTuber, right? Not all channels are created equal. If you want your channel to grow, make great content. If you make great content, what's that saying? If you build it, they will come. Build your channel. If you make a great video, people are going to see it. People share your video, and then people who shared it will share it, and you'll get subscribers that way. Grow your channel organically, but don't sit there and try and force people to subscribe to some tiny channel. And I'm not knocking tiny channels, because every channel at one point was a tiny channel, right? So just chill out with all the self-promotion and all the promoting all the extra channels, because that was extra last night. That was extra. All right. And it's rude to my guests, because it clouds everything up, and it's distracting for people that are trying to chat and have a conversation. And with me having the chat on the separate screen, it's because I want to interact with you guys. And when I look at it and all I see is, hey, go subscribe to such and such. Here are the 5 channels you need to subscribe. Go subscribe. Help these small channels grow, or we're going to lose our country. It's like, chill out, bro. Like, go on another platform. Maybe you suck as a YouTuber, but you're better at typing. I actually think I'm better getting my thoughts out when I type it out on Twitter. I think my tweets are better than some of the content in my videos, believe it or not, because I can think it through. I can reword it. It's not, I'm not just shooting from the hip like I do on live streams. And my tweets are fire, but I don't have the following on Twitter that some people who are really talented and know how Twitter works are. But I accept it. It's fine. YouTube and Facebook, though, that's my jam right there. So if you're a small channel trying to grow, maybe YouTube isn't for you. There are other ways to be active. Maybe you're someone that should be, pounding the pavement. Go out and protest. Go out and counter protest. Call out the leftists out there with their anti-resist signs. Go out there and say, why don't you promote something instead of resisting? Do something like that. I don't know. I just think if you talk about you want to save the country and yeah, we got to do this, don't use my channel as a bulletin board. Okay. The other thing about the chat is I've noticed, or it's been brought to my attention, I'll say that I haven't actually seen it yet, that and again, this is a few people, and the moderators are deleting chats from people who disagree or because they're using profanity. Okay, don't turn the chat into an echo chamber. That goes against everything I stand for. If you're gonna delete someone's chat because they said a swear word, a naughty swear word, or if they're, I don't know, disagreeing with me, God forbid someone comes on that disagrees with me. That's the whole point of all this, right? Don't delete their comment, because that's what the left does. How can you sit there and be like, yeah, man, I'm tired of all the censorship and YouTube, and they just want to, crack down on dissent, but then you're going to crack down on dissent in my chat and delete anyone that's a liberal or a progressive. It's one thing if they're being hateful, if they're just being destructive, they're just making threats, if they're not elevating the discourse, if they're just trolling, that's what you guys would do, is take them out that way. The moderators eat the trolls. But if someone's just there disagreeing, that's fine, but don't run them out of here, because a lot of you, I tell you, get these videos in front of eyeballs, get them in front of people who disagree. That's how you change minds, not by shielding them out. If that makes sense. You guys get where I'm going with this? So I just wanted to get those housekeeping items out of the way. So in conclusion, don't use the chat as a bulletin board to promote small channels. Instead, share their videos on other platforms like everyone else did to grow their channel, right? If your content's good, your channel is going to grow. You're not going to sit there with 14 subscribers if you're making fire content. So find other ways to promote. If you want to promote now, if you want to ask, like, hey, can I promote some channels? Cool. But don't do that, especially when I have a guest on. And the second thing, don't try to turn the chat into an echo chamber, because that's not what I want. I want people who disagree to be in there. And if someone's using profanity, I'm fine with that. I'm subscribed to lots of channels that use profanity. Jericho Green, for example, Axe Truth, people who use a lot more profanity than me. I barely use any, but I'm just not in that business of censoring people in the chat. So please don't do that. And I hope you guys enjoy Fog City Midge. Looks like she's in the chat right now. What's up, Fog City Midge? Thanks again for coming on last night. Thanks for promoting me on Instagram. My Instagram following is up now. I think I've gained like probably 50 or 60 followers since you tagged me in your story. See, I'm still learning this whole Instagram thing. But yeah, guys. And I'm gonna start doing more live streams where it's just me so that I can interact with you guys on a regular basis. Now, what is going on in the news? Can someone update me? What is popping off in Venezuela? It looks like the coup d'etat is happening now. The uprising is pretty much their version of Yellow Vest. And I heard that recently Maduro sent like a something military force and it turned violent. So it's violent now. I don't know. It's breaking news. Venezuela uprising turns violent after Maduro military vehicle plows into crowd of opposition supporters. Shit's getting real, guys. It is getting real. People are tired of, they're sick of being under the boot of big government. It doesn't matter if it's the US, it doesn't matter if it's France, Venezuela. I believe Spain, just their Vox party or whatever, just elected a right-wing candidate. I want to say Turkey or Austria just elected a, anti-establishment populist. See, everyone acts like Trump is this phenomenon. Like, oh, Donald Trump should have never won. This is crazy. America's racist. It's like, look around the world and you'll see that this is a trend. This is literally nationality versus globalism. Nationalism versus globalism. Like it's not a mistake. This is by design that they're trying to, dissolve borders. It's literally an invasion. That's what we're dealing with. It's crazy. Who's this? Tony Ferguson said, idiot MAGA tools. See, I don't know if that, see, I don't have the context there, so I'm not just going to automatically say that's a troll comment, but nonetheless, Venezuela is none of the United States business. I mean, I agree. I agree with that. Venezuela is not. We need to take care of this country first. That's one thing where I disagree with Trump on is, at first I agreed with it because I'm like, well, Maduro's he's a dictator, but then when I saw that we named his replacement, I'm like, that's not a democratic process. He needs to be elected by the people. They have to overcome it. Imagine if all the other countries in the world were like, we don't acknowledge Trump as president. We acknowledge Hillary as president. What if we were a weak country and they tried to stage a coup from the outside? How would we feel? Even if Trump, let's say Trump was like, I don't know, tyrannical. Let's say Trump was actually as bad as the left says he is. Let's say all that shit was really happening. We wouldn't want people from the outside saying, okay, well, we're going to give you Hillary Clinton. We'd be like, no. So I don't agree with Trump doing that. Fox City Mage says, I agree, Mike. I'd also tell everyone we have unique gifts. And if you want to MAGA, there are so many ways to do it. There are. And that's the thing. I'm not trying to harp on small channels. That's not what this is about, because every single channel was at one point a small channel. It's not like I'm coming in hot. I had to grow my channel. I put in the work. And if there are small channels that want to grow, I can definitely give you some pointers. One pointer I would give would be, don't go into someone else's live stream when they have a guest on and promote a bunch of other channels and basically just fill up the chat with a bunch of that, because it's distracting. And then, the people, ultimately your channel is going to grow if you're good. Your channel is not going to grow because people are telling you to subscribe to it. Go subscribe. It's like, all right, I'll go check it out. But if I don't like it, I'm not going to subscribe. One of the things that I did was I reached out. Like, Conservative Mexican is the one who convinced me to just go ahead and start my channel, because I procrastinated for like a month. He's like, just make a video and see what happens. And I had like little expectations, my expectations were level set. I'm like, if it grows, it grows. If it doesn't, That's fine. I just want to do my part. And already before I even started my YouTube channel, I was active on Twitter and I was tweeting, and I'm like, this is enough. I'll just grow my Twitter. Twitter was going to be my main platform before YouTube. And then YouTube took off, and I'm like, well, see you, Twitter. But it's the thing is, you have multiple ways to get involved. There's multiple ways to get your voice out there, and everybody has different skills and abilities, right? I'm not the best channel on YouTube. Some of you might disagree, but I know that it's a work in progress. I'm growing my channel. So some people, you might have to just do that. You might have to go that route. Again, I think even more effective than YouTube is going to college campuses, going to rallies, going to events, because it's one thing to have your freedom of speech centered online. It's like, whatever, I still have my thoughts. I can still speak. They can't censor you in public. They can't censor your voice in public the way they can online anyway. So this isn't even the most effective means of reaching people. I mean, if you can combine the two, that would be the best way to go about it. And I'm actually working on doing that. That's the best way for me to get involved down here. We don't have just a bunch of events down here. There's not as much turmoil in Florida as there is in California. California is a great place, as Midge pointed out, is a great place to grow your channel, build your content, because there's leftists there. It's crazy. And people want to see crazy. It's entertaining. But that's a way to grow your channel. You go out there, stand next to someone crazy, and then people who are in the middle are going to see the contrast. Like, yeah, I'm siding with Sanity on this one. Boom, you red pilled someone right there without even trying. You could just film it, or you can interject. You can record yourself. So there's multiple ways to do it. I'm going to be doing that down here. I want to go to college campuses. I think going to college campuses are probably the best way for me to get involved, because just going around the cities down here, there was that one, what was it? They were protesting against Trump's, it was during the government shutdown. I just remember that. It's like, there are a bunch of people outside in St. Petersburg, and they're like holding up signs like, resist 45, treason, traitor. I'm like, yeah, those signs age really well. Putin's puppet, all of that. So I just went out there and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna expose your insanity and your bigotry and your racism and intolerance and all of that. But that was it. That was the only event. It's not that I wish there were more, but if there were more, then I would feel like I'm doing more to win the culture war. So I'll be doing that. CVMA 1895 said, hey, Mike from Colorado. What up? This is my home state. Oh, man, Colorado. Colorado actually was a Republican state when I was growing up. It was a red state, solid red, and it turned purple for Obama. Actually, no, it flipped blue. It was blue. But it's been slowly turning blue, and now it's a stronghold. Now Colorado will never be Republican again. See, that's what happens with the left, because they don't win on ideas. They just vote based on party lines, and they bring people in just to vote. So like, Denver's a sanctuary city. The city of Denver dictates the whole state. You know, and Denver's now a sanctuary city. So now there's more illegals there. There's more, which translates to more Democrat voters. So Colorado is now a blue state, and it makes perfect. And Colorado's only got 10 electoral votes. They're going after Texas. Texas has 35 or something like that. If they can flip Texas blue, it's over. Because think about it. Every single election, the Democrat candidate automatically starts out with, I think it's 105 electoral votes, which guaranteed they get it no matter what, because deep blue states. So I know obviously California, Washington State, Oregon, New York, Illinois, they already count that. That's already 105 electoral votes that they don't even have to work for, because they've built these strongholds. You notice that conservatives have to defend their ideas, which is why that's why I think conservatives are so effective at debating, because conservatives are kind of in the minority, and therefore conservatives always have to defend. We always have to defend our position, and because we always have to defend our position, we perfect it, right? We sharpen the saw, and we're good at it, and we know that we are armed with facts and truth, two things that don't need defending. They just need articulation. So we're able to do that, which is why they want to censor conservatives. It's like, if conservatives are so bad and evil and racist and bigoted, and you think their language, their free speech, what are they saying? Speech is violence. Then let them stand on a pillar so that everyone can see it. Wouldn't it be so obvious? Oh no, you want to censor them all together. It's because you know your ideas can't win. That's why they want to do it. I wish I could read you guys' names or whatever. Someone said, "What's up, Mike?" Oh, Intense Fitway. What's up, Mike? Colorado is a purple state. He's cleaned up the wait. He set the table to bring back manufacturing. He's cleaned up the DOJ and exposed the DS pawns of the cabal. See, the cabal, the deep state. This is initially why I set up the backup channel, because I wasn't really sure if I wanted to go down that rabbit hole on this channel, and it kind of pulls it in one direction or the other. I'll just say this. There are certain channels that I like being subscribed to specifically because they cover politics only. Take let's say an Anthony Brian Logan, or I don't know, Tim Pool or somebody. They are focused on politics almost exclusively. But then I'll subscribe to like High Impact Flicks or Richie from Boston, or A Call for an Uprising, because they talk about the other side of it. And I didn't feel like there was a way for me to effectively talk about it together, but there's a lot of sinister shit going on, and it's so deep. It's so deep. It's such a rabbit hole. And I don't know if I told you guys this. I've probably said it a bunch of times. Like, my red pill moment actually came not as it relates to politics, that happened with Trump, but just snapping out of the matrix and realizing this world wasn't what I thought it was back in 2016 when I lived in Minneapolis, and Prince died in the month of April, to be specific, April 21st. And one of my good friends up there, he's been all into like conspiracy theories and stuff. I'm going to tread lightly with this because this could get a channel strike or get demonetized or whatever. But April apparently is, and he told me this back then, and I went down this rabbit hole research, but the month of April is known as like the blood sacrifice month. Essentially, you see a lot of celebrity deaths. You see a lot of false flag attacks. There's a lot that happens in the month of April. And I looked back to see, like, was this true? Well, if you look throughout history, okay, first of all, Hitler's birthday, April 20th. Columbine, April 20th. Oklahoma City bombing, April 20th. The WWE wrestler Chyna, do you guys remember her? April 20th, she died. Prince died April 21st. It's a month of April. But there's something specific about April 20th that, and it could have to do with Hitler. I don't know. But that's just what it is. And already this April has been pretty brutal. I mean, you had both the Sri Lanka attack and the New Zealand attack in April. And then the burning of the cathedral in France, as well as some of these other celebrity deaths. Was John Singleton yesterday, and Nipsey Hussle was it was the last day of March, but there's something about that time frame. And so anyway, when I was living in Minneapolis, I learned about this stuff, and it sent me down this whole rabbit hole. And I'm like, I want to talk about that stuff, but I don't know if I can do that on this channel, and I don't want to necessarily dedicate a full backup channel to that. But some of you guys know I've talked about some things on there. Some stuff is more public than not. But see, when you get down to the nitty gritty and you start talking about stuff like Big Pharma, Monsanto, that's how you get your channel shut down. That's kind of why they shut Alex Jones down, is because he was pushing what they called conspiracy theories, even though a lot of them came true. That's another story. They don't want you talking about that. They'll demonetize your channel. I've noticed that the people who talk about that kind of stuff, they're the ones who get censored. They're the ones who have their channel removed. There's this guy called I wish I could. Oh, his name is Zachary Hubbard. I don't know if any of you guys watching or have seen any of these channels or know any of these channels I'm talking about. This guy talks about gematria, and gematria is, it's language coded into numbers, and everything is by the numbers, including celebrity death, news stories, big, massive events and stuff like that. There's a lot of that out there. He's had his channel deleted. I think he said like 30 times. He's had to set up several different channels. And he's, for the most part, he's not talking about anything. He's pretty much doing what Alex Jones was kind of doing. Just saying like, oh, this is a false flag attack. Here's these numbers. Here's that. And it's crazy stuff. But I don't want to go down that rabbit hole with this channel, especially. So I just kind of tread lightly there. I just kind of went on a tangent also, but it's all good. This is my off day. Bernie is the worst. Bernie will bring USA to a recession by spending a lot on welfare. Yeah, the short answer is yeah, that's what he'll do. Here's the thing about Bernie, though. I don't dislike Bernie as a person or anything like that. I don't think Bernie's a bad person. I think Bernie's a hypocrite. I think Bernie's a communist, and I disagree with his policy like 100%. But the thing about Bernie is he hasn't changed. He's flip-flopped on some stuff, but you can't name a politician who hasn't, including Trump. You just can't. Bernie has, for the most part, stuck to his guns with everything he believes in. He's been a communist. He's still a communist. He's always going to be a communist, but he'll never call himself a communist. Who goes to the Soviet Union for their freaking honeymoon? Who does that? Probably a communist, someone that likes the ideology. That's Bernie. And Bernie's always pushed that. So there's something about that that is respectable to me. Not someone like a Kamala Harris who will shift the goalpost. And she's like, yeah, we should legalize marijuana. I smoke blunts and blah, blah, blah. But you were prosecuting people for weed. So now you're running for president. You're against it. You're like, oh, no. We should do this and that. It's like, we can see you're a contortionist. You're playing the game Twister. You're just twisting yourself up in all these different directions because you think that's going to get people to vote for you. When people talk like that, when people think that I can't look up the past, I can't look up their voting record, they're insulting my intelligence, and they think we're stupid. Democrats and some Republicans, they think you're an idiot. They're like, even though the sky is clearly blue and all they got to do is look up to confirm it's blue, I think I can keep them from looking up, and I'm going to tell them it's green. That's a politician. They're like, I can control these idiots. I can gaslight these fools. Look at how they make Black America and these guilty white liberals. They make guilty white liberals and Black people think that America is more racist in 2019 than it was in 1920. How is that possible? That America's more racist now than it was then? And people believe it. It's more racist now than when the Ku Klux Klan marched on Washington, 100,000 deep. America's somehow more racist now because Orange Man bad. It makes zero sense, but that's gaslighting. When you can convince someone to accept a reality with no evidence. How is America more racist now than it was then? And they also have the memory of a goldfish. How is America so racist that it voted in a Black guy twice? America's the least racist country on earth. It's a majority white nation that voted in a Black person to be president. No other country has done that, not a majority white nation. That's the equivalent of me moving to Korea and starting a political career and then becoming the president of Korea. That's the same thing. It's like it's a Korean majority nation, but they're accepting and tolerant, and they voted me in. That's what happened here with Obama. Not to mention all these states like, oh, Florida is a bigoted state because it didn't want to be wrecked by a socialist Andrew Gillum. Florida's just racist. They got a bunch of bigots down there. Really? The same Florida that voted for Obama? Not once, but twice. That's gaslighting. That is gaslighting right there. But it's not surprising. Conservative Mexican in the building. Start learning Florida candidates. They're going to push felon voting and use that to flip Florida. Learn your congressional candidates and support them. I'm already on top of it, bro. I've been on top of this. I've been on what's going on. I knew about that when they announced it. We have a governor that is kicking ass right now. Ron DeSantis is crushing it, and he's getting bipartisan support, which is a good sign. That's a good thing when with as polarized as our country is right now. That's a great thing that Republicans and Democrats are showing him love and props, and they're giving him credit. He's working across the aisle, especially on some environmental stuff, because we got a lot of, let me read this real quick. Sean said, love your channel, Mike Nipson. Keep up the great work. Latino Americans for Trump. Yes. MAGA, baby. Shout out to the Cubans in Florida. Cuban Americans, they vote Republican because they fled communism. Puerto Ricans, they vote Democrat. And I'll get to that in a second while we're talking about Florida politics. So, yeah, Ron DeSantis is getting praise from both sides of the aisle. Ron DeSantis is focused on environmental stuff. He locked down no sanctuary cities. He banned that. I wish he would do something on, I think we might have a heartbeat bill in Congress. I don't know, in our state Congress. But I would like to see him do more there. For the most part, he's doing great stuff. I think in his first 100 days, he signed some executive orders. He hit the ground running. He's weeding out corruption. That's another thing conservative Mexican is the corruption down here. Broward County and Palm Beach County are the two most corrupt counties in the entire state. We have 65 counties in the state. And those two, going back to the 2000 election with George Bush, have been caught doing voter fraud, and there's kind of a deep state there. There's kind of just, these are bureaucrats. These are people that are unelected, but they have so much power and influence that were engaged in shadiness. So Ron DeSantis already clamped down on that. That's why it's so important to participate in your local elections, because that was my first local midterm election I ever voted in, and I voted Republican down the ticket, and I'm grateful for that because Ron DeSantis can set the tone for 2020, whereas Gillum would have gerrymandered and got all this ready to be swept up by a Democrat. Ron DeSantis brought in law and order. Nope, there's not going to be any illegals voting. We're going to make sure you need a driver's license and ID to vote. We're on top of that. But he kind of governs like a libertarian a little bit. He just passed medical marijuana. So smokable medical marijuana, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, there's a possibility it could get recreational down here. I don't know, but there's certain things that local politics. I'm not into the offshore drilling down here in Florida. I disagree with offshore drilling because it's too vulnerable to have offshore drilling in the Gulf of Mexico. It's too vulnerable to hurricanes. Too much can happen. You guys remember I think it was the ExxonMobil oil spill back in 2010 off the coast of Texas or Louisiana. It's detrimental to the environment. And Florida has a huge tourist industry, and we just got done having the worst red tide season on record, which killed tourism, which kills a lot of jobs, a lot of independent contractors and self-employed. A lot of people do Uber and Lyft, Airbnb. If people aren't here, those independent contractors and small business owners are hurting. So if you're a Republican and you truly care about the people, then you would be against offshore drilling in Florida. I brought up offshore drilling because I saw a news clip about it today, that it's Trump wants to do offshore drilling in Florida. And for the moment, I think Democrats and Republicans in the state of Florida at the local level, they're against it. They're against offshore drilling here. Like, go do that up somewhere where there's less risk. Go up to like the Arctic or somewhere. I don't know, up near Alaska, somewhere where there's not a lot of ships navigating the waters, and there's no risk of an environmental disaster. Moving along. Oh, BP oil spill. Okay. I knew it was BP or Exxon or something. Joey. EG Joey. What does the EG stand for, by the way? Joey said, oh, yeah, if Hillary would have won, we would be bombing other countries. There would be a daily body count. Man, we dodged the ultimate bullet. Isn't it the arrogance of this woman? You hear she's talking about, oh, yeah, Julian Assange. I mean, he must be brought to justice. She's reading the Mueller report and stuff. Oh, yeah, there's more to come here. It's like, if there was ever someone who should be behind bars right now, it's Hillary. Hillary needs to be in prison right now. You want to talk about the Boston bomber being able to vote from prison? Hillary Clinton should be in prison and she's able to vote. I'm against that. Talking about Julian Assange. And I mean, there's the whole Seth Rich thing, but we won't go down there. Everybody knows what it is. Everybody, unless you've been living under a rock, you've heard about the Clinton body count. A couple more super chats. I think Malcolm Palm says, keep up the great work getting the message out, Mike. You have my full support. I appreciate you, Malcolm. Thank you. This is why I'm happy to do live streams where it's just me, because I can interact with the chat. When I have someone on, like a guest, like Fog City Midge last night, I was seeing all the chats and stuff, but because I'm keeping the attention of someone else and I need to hear them speak, it's hard for me to kind of manage the chat too. But that's where the moderators come in and say, thanks for donating. I appreciate that. Whoa, what is that? Oh, someone, what is this? Is that a spammer? What is that? New black stepdad. Yes, thank you. Get that out of there. Block that. Get your ass out of my chat, man. See, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about right there. This is why I got moderators, because they own it. Tony Ferguson, anyone who doesn't agree isn't a slammed. I don't think that's what you meant to say. Oh, spammer. Anyone who doesn't agree isn't a spammer. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. In fact, I like when people disagree that are in the chat, because that's where the groundwork can be made up. And I feel like some people, not all, but some that follow me want to exist in an echo chamber. I saw someone in the chat, I think it was last night, we're talking about Tim Pool. And someone's like, Tim Pool's still a liberal. So what? If Tim Pool's the definition of liberal, good. Let's clone Tim Pool. Let's get hundreds of thousands of Tim Pools. Why? Because he's sane and rational. He's level-headed. He's free-thinking. He has common sense. The only thing I disagree with Tim Pool on is policy. And that's okay. He still cares about America. I don't think Tim Pool's, he's not some like socialist. Yeah, maybe he agrees with some socialist policies, but I mean, if you're being honest with yourself, America's not a full capitalist country. We're a mixed economy. We're already partially socialist. That's just what it is. We have Medicaid. We have Social Security. We have handouts, welfare already. We have a social safety net. The classic liberal is just basically saying, here's how much of a social safety net we should have. That is a comfortable debate. Those are the kind of liberals that I'm comfortable sharing the country with. What makes me uncomfortable are leftists. Tim Pool's for free speech, and so should you be. I mean, if you're conservative, shouldn't you want someone with different ideas to come into the chat? Isn't that how we change minds? We have to get there. Who are these trolls? Solomon Agbad or whatever. Get out of my chat. Yeah, Tim Pool, Dina said Tim Pool's more moderate than right leaning. Yeah, he's moderate. I don't think he's what's the word? Classic liberal like Dave Rubin. I really don't know what all these terms mean. But all I know is Tim Pool, Dave Rubin, Joe Rogan. I'm fine with them. I'm fine with them. Those are the kind of liberals that I'm cool with. A lot of my friends are that way to varying degrees. They might hate Trump, like Tim Pool said he hates Trump, but he's also said, I'm not voting for Kamala Harris or Bernie. In fact, Tim Pool, the two candidates that he said he is donated to are the most sane, level-headed Democrats that are running, Tulsi Gabbard and Andrew Yang. You don't have to agree with their policies, but they're sane. They're not playing identity politics. They're, at least Tulsi Gabbard's been outspoken about regime change wars. She doesn't want to be an interventionist. So, like, I like that. Andrew Yang, he talked about automation. He understands what happened to the Rust Belt. He understands why Trump got elected. I mean, he's apparently he's a gun grabber, and he did have that horrible gaffe statement that he made a month ago. I think he was pressured to say that, though, where he is like, we're about 10 years away from, because he kind of buys into that whole narrative that there are a bunch of racist white people who don't want the country turning browner. So because they see the brown people and they're like, that's where my job went. The brown people took it. So he's like, yeah, we're about 10 years away from Chinese people being put in internment camps. We're gonna be demonized. I don't remember the exact quote, but he said something just barbaric and stupid. But other than that, him and Tulsi Gabbard, I like them. I like their ideas. I actually hope they both make it on the debate stage. Isn't that who we want on the debate stage? I mean, doesn't matter because they're not going to beat Trump. But I want them on the debate stage to provide some contrast to the insanity. Because if you just have nothing but insanity up there on the debate stage, people who are moderate, they're not gonna know. People who are agnostic politically, or people just don't know what's going on in politics, they're gonna be like, well, Bernie, Warren, Kamala, Beto, Biden, I don't know. But if you get someone like Andrew Yang up there, he'll kill it. I think he would expose them in a debate. Ultimately, they would destroy him, but a lot of people would support him, and then they would see that he gets destroyed and then vote for Trump. That's what I think will happen. That's what I hope will happen. Just like they did Bernie in 2016. Bernie got screwed. Bernie had a lot of support, and a bunch of Bernie supporters flipped the bird at the DNC and voted Trump. So it could actually help Trump out if Andrew Yang and Tulsi Gabbard make it on the debate stage. Might be worth, I don't know if we can do this or not. Tell me in the chat if you can. Are we allowed to vote in the primaries for Democrats? Like, can we do that? Or is that like fraud or something else? Or do you have to be registered Democrat? But that would be interesting, because I don't want it to come down to a Bernie Sanders or Kamala Harris. Because I don't want to have to deal with them. That's longer. We got to hear her bullshit. Kamala Harris, especially. Bernie doesn't really say. Bernie says stuff that's laughable. Bernie will say stuff that'll make you laugh at him and be like, come on, Bernie. You want the Boston bomber to vote? Kamala Harris will say stuff that will just piss you off. Like, you remember when she compared ICE to the Ku Klux Klan? It's like, are you kidding me right now? Could you be more retarded? Who says that? ICE is like the Ku Klux Klan. I'm like, really? A multiracial Ku Klux Klan, huh? Interesting. Hey, all right. See, you guys see this super chat? Hey, great douchebag. No more of that, man. I get it. You want these small channels to grow. You need to tell them to grow their content. Make some better content. Don't use my chat as a bulletin board. You got to stop that, man. I'm not feeling that. You did that all last night during the stream. You're trying to get people to, you're distracting from the guests that I had on my channel, Fog City Midge, by saying, hey, go subscribe to these other channels. Like, no, make videos and share them on Facebook. If they have good content, their channels will grow. But you got to accept the truth, man. Like, level set your expectations. Some of these channels aren't going to grow if their content is not good. But using my channel to say, hey, you guys need to go subscribe to these channels, go do it, that's not going to work, and it's already kind of annoying. So chill out with that, great douchebag, please. No more of that. We get it. You want us to sub to those channels. Awesome. Great. How about this, great douchebag? Are you going to other channels and promoting mine? Do you go and be like, hey, go subscribe to Mike-nificent? I don't think you are. So why would you then come into my chat and try to use it as a springboard for these other random channels? Malcolm Palm, I'm listening to Mike-nificent at the moment. Allie Johnson. Stu open up is what you described. Stu, different states have different rules on primary voting. I think the chat is so delayed. That's what sucks. It's not necessarily real-time chat. Maybe there's a way for me to make it real-time chat. Live chat. Here we go. See, this whole time I had it set on top chat, and I don't know what the difference is between top chat and live chat, but that's why I was seeing your guys' chats delayed, because I don't know what a top chat, what they consider a top chat. But anyway, CLM Daddy Pants says, great vids, dude. Keep it up. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody's super chat. I appreciate you too. Great douchebag. What is this link? What is the link? What did you post? Tell me what the links are, man. He's black Jesse, his black Jesse Peterson voice. Can I see the times that you guys are saying these chats? I can't tell if what I'm reading is you responding to me in real time or somebody said like 5 minutes ago. But I do see that I have 100 people watching, 106 likes. Great. 6 people dropped out. Lunch break must be over. All good. Tanya said, thanks for the Baltimore Blexit. I actually wanted to release that video yesterday, but it took me so long to edit, and I knew I had Fox City Midge interview coming up, so I figured I'll just release it in the morning. But I think I would have had like double the views had I released it yesterday or Sunday when all this popped off. Isn't that the craziest shit ever? That is the most unreal thing ever. And Tony got after me. He's like, that's my city, Mike. How are you going to make a video about Baltimore and not consult me first? Get my input. My bad. I forgot, man. But I had to do that because it's just crazy, insane that the people in Baltimore have done the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. And to make matters worse, with it being a black city, you have black mayors, black chief of police, black judges. When that Freddie Gray thing happened, that was a black police force. So it's like, is it police brutality or is it racism? Which one is it? Black Lives Matter. Which one is it? If it's police brutality, then all lives matter. Let's promote, let's protest against police brutality against everyone, because it does happen. It is a thing. Cops are human. Some cops are bad. But don't make it about race if you're really saying it's police brutality. If you're going to make it about race, then what's up when it's all black cops doing it? Is it still about race then? So for that to happen in a city with that many black people in it, it's like, oh, but yeah. So my college professor told me about the Southern strategy, and the Democrats became the good guys and the Republicans are the bad people. And all the proof is right there. Look at these Democrat cities where they care about the poor people. Typical double standards. Without them, they would have no standards at all. And hypocrites, it's like, oh, we care about the working class, but we're about to crush them with the Green New Deal. We're going to tax them out of existence. Then the black cops are really Uncle Tom Oreos. Oh, yeah. That's how it works. Mm-hmm. Yep. You know what? My favorite insult that I get from the left is whenever they call me an Uncle Tom, they are letting the world know 2 things. Number 1, they're giving me a compliment. And number 2, they're telling the world they don't read because Uncle Tom was the hero of the book. Can't make it up. So you got that. And anyone that has a dissenting opinion, that is them just they're just being fascist when they try to. That's what happens in the black community. It's like, you don't get to think that way. We've already decided what you think, Mike. We decided what you think and how you feel. You're not allowed to have any other opinions outside of that. What we told you to think is what you need to think. Now get back in line. That is essentially what they're saying without saying it. But when they do that, I don't back down. I double down. I'm like, so you tell me I can't support the president? Let me get a new MAGA hat. My old one's getting dirty. Let me get a Trump t-shirt. Let me go to a Trump rally and live stream, because I will rebel against authoritarianism till the day I die. It's not hard. It's not some skill. I just naturally am defiant and non-compliant. I just don't agree with the whole idea that some human beings should be able to control and dictate the rules, opinions, expressions of other people. They want ideological obedience. It's not about the speech, it's about the ideology. And that's how they crack down on dissent. That's how they've done it so well in China. They do it with their social credit system. They pretty much incentivize behavior. We kind of have that here too. I mean, think about it. Your credit score is tied to your social security number. Your social security number is slapped on you the day you're born. So from the day you're born, you're already stamped to be an obedient taxpayer. You're just a number. You're a 9-digit number to the federal government. It's so crazy. And so what they do is they want to incentivize good behavior and punish bad behavior, which is why China will shame you on a billboard if you jaywalk. Oh, nope, now you can't travel. You don't get to sit in the front seat of the bus because we don't like what you tried to Google. And someone snitched on you, and they can skip the line at the ice cream shop because they're on their good behavior reporting bad people to the government. Tattletale. That's what it is. It's a nanny state. Animal Farm for sure. Animal Farm. I just watched that like I want to say a month ago. It's a disturbing cartoon. If don't see it, if you haven't seen it, just keep it that way. It's disturbing. But isn't that what it is? Isn't that all society is, guys? Isn't that what this bubble, this prism we live in, isn't that all we're trying to do, is just make sense of it all? We're all just trying to make sense of everything in the world. We all have our own experience. We all have our own view. We're just trying to make sense of it. But all I'm saying is, that's fine. Don't tread on me. Whatever you think, whatever you believe, keep it. Don't give it to me. Don't try to force it and impose your will on me. And that's what the world will do, is impose its will on you via mob rule if you let it. And what do? They factory farm minions to go out and protest and carry out their agenda. We call them useful idiots. You think about it, like from the time you're born, you got that 9-digit number that guarantees you're going to be a taxpayer. You're going to be a warden of the state. They know who you are because of your social security number. It is a tracking number that follows you throughout your whole life. And then because the left has had such a stranglehold on our, I guess we can call them indoctrination facilities, public schools, there's no free thinking whatsoever. It's here's what you think. And then they send you off to college, which I believe is no longer really a place for free speech. It's just a Marxist training camp. And they spit you out on the other side. It's like you've been on a conveyor belt your whole life. Before you know it, they spit you out on the other side. Mad, hating capitalism, hating white people, with a bunch of college debt and the bone to pick with the world. Angry. No jobs. And then you go out and vote for Bernie Sanders to raise your taxes and ruin the country. That's kind of what it is. Great Douchebag said, sorry, Mike. I'll give you my word. I will not do it again. My apologies to all. You are awesome patriots. I will respect your wishes. I appreciate that, man. I didn't mean to scold you. I guess you weren't watching at the beginning of the chat or at the beginning of the feed where I was pretty much saying that when I have a guest on the channel, I don't want people promoting other channels. I don't like that. So because I want the focus to be on the guest, and I'm not trying to be like policing, like you can't say that, you can't do that. But at the same time, I expect like moderators and people to just be respectful and try to help kind of facilitate the discussions. Because the thing is, if there's a bunch of people chatting about, oh, go sub to this, sub to that, look at this, go do that, then it's like the person who came that's a guest visiting my channel, they're gonna be like, I asked a question 10 minutes ago and nobody got to it. They could have had questions for me, myself, or my guest. And so I just kind of want to minimize that kind of chat. And then the other thing, if you missed that too, I was just saying, don't turn my chat into an echo chamber. If someone says a swear word, don't time them out. If someone disagrees, that doesn't mean they're a troll from the left. If they're making threats, if they're not contributing to the dialogue, then yeah, obviously use your discretion to time them out. But if they're just in there generally disagreeing with me, but they're being respectful and polite, then debate them. That's your debate arena right there. And then raise up questions to me in the super chat. Have them super chat if they want to ask me questions. That's how I want it to go going forward. And if you want to promote these smaller channels, I mean, ask me to give them a shout out, but honestly, screen them first, because I'm not just going to promote someone because they're a patriot. You got to have good content. That's just the truth. You got to have good content. And 9 times out of 10, if you have good content, I'm going to find it. I will know about it. It's not like, oh, this person's struggling, but they're so good. They just only have 10 subs, but all their videos are fire. No, their videos are not fire if they only have 10 subs. Their videos are lacking something. Maybe they're too long. Maybe their energy's not in it. Maybe they're not researched on topics. Maybe they're not articulate. Maybe they just don't have the stage presence necessary to be a YouTuber. And it takes work. Also, you got to work at it. Nobody starts out number one at the top. And I'm gonna get off my soapbox. It's really hot, guys. I swear. That's why I'm wearing this shirt, because I can't live stream without my AC blasting. I get really hot when I'm live streaming. But I do appreciate the super chats on Great Douchebag. I do appreciate you as moderator and a super chatter, because here's the thing: every dollar that I get goes right back into the channel. Did you guys see this microphone I got now? These headphones. I got a new camera. I got a laptop, all since I started this channel. And now look at where the channel is. I'm reaching more people. I'm having more guests. I've grown as a YouTuber in my 1 year. Just things are working for me right now. I'm blessed. But it's all because of great supporters like you, patriots like you. Saving the country is hard work, but I'm not patting myself on the back. It's just what needs to be done. I'm not out there virtue sitting like, look at me, I'm a proud patriot. I'm just like, yeah, I don't like socialism. I don't like authoritarianism. I don't like communism. I don't like career politicians, and I don't like the donkey party. And I can talk about it and speak about it. And if anybody wants to say something, like, okay, let's have a discussion, but miss me with ad hominem attacks and drive-by comments and all the stuff the keyboard warriors do, the low information people. They're out there full force. Drop it like it's Scott said. Keep up the good work. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Joey, you never told me what EG stands for. Notice Mike Pence may not be on the Trump ticket for 2020. Is that for real? I mean, I'd be fine with it. Honestly, like, I do like Mike Pence, but I feel like what Trump needs is a Rand Paul. Trump needs a Rand Paul. Rand Paul is, and I know I made a video dissing Rand Paul, like he's dead to me because he voted against Trump's what is it? His thing. Whatever Trump did with the border wall. I'm like brain farting right now. Trump, he said, anyway, Rand Paul was my guy. Had Rand Paul won the nomination, he would have my vote. Rand Paul, I think still, even though he voted his principles, even though he didn't use any nuance whatsoever in that situation, he voted with the Democrats and the rhinos to try to overturn Trump's executive order or whatever it was. And I didn't like that, but I think Rand Paul would make a great vice president because he'll stand up to the left. He needs someone that can Trump that will stand. He'll stand up to Trump a little bit, but he'd have Trump's back in a more strategic way. Trigger man. Too many prefer the smoke blown up their behinds. That's very polite of you to not swear. You can swear if you want. You don't want people want smoke blown up their behinds. That's funny. Trey Gowdy would be awesome. I don't really know him. I know who he is, but I don't know much about him. Trump lost my vote definitely when veto to leave Yemen. What's going on to those people? Sad what's going on to those people. Well, if you're not going to vote Trump, then does that mean you're going to vote Democrat? Does that mean you're not going to vote, which translates to you voting Democrat? Like, what would it take for someone to not, if you support Trump, it would take him, for me, I can only speak for myself. It would take him doing a complete 180 for me to not vote for him, because not voting for him means I still need to vote for somebody. And unless he says America's over, open the borders, let him in. I mean, unless he does something like that, he's getting my vote. Most people feel the same way. We're grounded in what we believe and our principles and all that. As long as Trump represents those, he has our support. The very second he doesn't, gone. That's why I said make America great again has nothing to do with Trump anymore. He just made it mainstream. He turned it into a brand. A campaign slogan is a brand now. MAGA is a brand. But anyway, most people on the left, they're voting against Trump. They're not voting for Biden. They're not voting for Bernie Sanders. They're not voting for Kamala or anybody else. They're voting against Trump. The left is always focused on what they don't want. They don't understand how law of attraction works. This is one of the things I liked about Trump initially. Even though something hasn't happened yet, Trump speaks in the affirmative. You notice how confident he is. It takes a lot of confidence, big brass balls, and confidence to go out there and say, yes, we're building a wall. We're going to build a great big wall. The wall's being built. You better believe it. Nobody's ever seen anything this great. His language, the way that he talks, the words he uses are law of attraction. So it makes sense why he's a billionaire, because he uses the right language. Thoughts become things. And when you focus on what you do want, you'll get it. When you focus on what you don't want, you'll get it. What you focus on expands. The left doesn't get that, which is why I think they've let all that negativity and energy and animosity and vitriol fester, because they were so mad that Trump won. They focused on their anger instead of focusing on love. They're always anti something instead of being pro something else. What's this whole resist, move on, anti-Trump? It's like gonna go to a freaking protest or a rally and hold up a sign. I hate this. This is what I don't want. I'm like, okay, cool. What do you want? Get there. Then you'll see your life change. This is why I think a lot of people on the left are unhappy, is because all they can focus on is what they don't see instead of what they do see. I think conservatives literally are happier people. I do think that. I have yet to meet many conservatives that are walking around angry and bitter. It's because the left, the world is always on fire. Something's always racist, always sexist. Everything is wrong in the world. It's like, damn, do you ever get sleep? Man, I would be skinny and have no appetite and depressed and sad, doped up on pharmaceuticals if I were on the left, because it's like, damn, what are we outraged by this week? Oh my God, I'm so tired from last night's arrest, getting tear gassed by the cops. Man, you Antifa boys know how to party. That's what it is. It's like rage protesting on volume 10, 24/7. It's like, chill out. Give it a rest. TDS, E.G. Joey does not stand. I'm pretty sure you probably already answered me, but I'm just kind of rambling. Anyways, guys, I'm going to sign off. It is extraordinarily hot in my place, and I need a break from this, but I appreciate all of y'all for subscribing, sharing, liking, commenting. Try to get that Baltimore Blexit video I just made. try to get that in front of Candace Owens if we can. I met Candace. She knows who I am. Charlie Kirk, they know who I am. But they're busy people. But we need a Blexit rally, not only in Baltimore, but in Florida. So, anyways, guys, I'm signing off. I appreciate all of you guys. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for eating the trolls, to the DMs, to the moderators, the Dina, Tony, EG, Joey. Yeah. Appreciate you guys. I'll catch you in the next video. Sorry. One last thing before I go. And I need to talk about this on Facebook, actually. There's an event in Florida, in Tampa, Thursday. There's some like Trump club meetup thing. I'm going to be there. So if any of you guys want to meet up, not that I'm some celebrity, but if you guys do want to meet up and you're in the Tampa Bay area, head over there. I can put a link to, if you don't have Facebook, you'll have to find it somewhere else. Maybe it's on Yelp. Maybe it's on one of the, I don't know how you'll find out about it, but there's an event coming up Thursday. I'll be there. I believe Tony Patriot's going to be there, and we'll hopefully do some live streams and document it. But basically, we're starting this coalition of Trump supporters having a physical location to meet up in Tampa Bay. Florida is going to be a hard-fought battleground for 2020. So we're going to start building that energy now and momentum now. And I think it starts Thursday with this kickoff. I think there's going to be at least 300 or so people there. I don't know if it's a club, a restaurant, what. I don't know if there'll be local media reporting there, but I plan on attending. So if you're in the Tampa Bay area, check it out. Thursday, 7 p.m., some Trump thing. All right, guys. I'm signing off. Catch you in the next live stream.